Dear friends, St. Francis de Sales, looking at the newly baptized child, used to say, "My son, now you are a friend of the angels, brother of Jesus Christ, child of God, temple of the Holy Spirit, and a member of the Holy Catholic Church." These words of the saint, my dear friends, tell us that the sacrament of baptism offers us innumerable blessings of God. The Catechism of the Catholic Church says that the sacrament of baptism bestows two principal effects on the receiver. Firstly, purification from all sins, especially the original sin. And secondly, new birth in the Holy Spirit. Now in this audio, my dear friends, let us focus on the first one alone. The story of Adam and Eve is more theological than historical. Let us try to understand the significance of the sin committed by the first parents from psycho-spiritual perspective. There were two trees which were in the middle of the Garden of Eden. One was the tree of life and another the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Genesis chapter 2 verse 9. God told the first parents not to eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil and not that of the tree of life. Genesis 2 verses 16 and 17. These two trees can be understood to signify two ways of achieving our happiness in life. Tree of life symbolizes the fulfillment and happiness that we get by our relationship with God, the author and source of life. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil can mean to signify and symbolize our mind. It is with the help of mind that we accumulate knowledge and that we say that something is good or bad. Original sin is basically the human tendency to look for happiness with the aid of mind. Here, let us try to critically analyze how our mind tries to bring us happiness. The tendency of human mind is to operate on the fulcrum of likes and dislikes. That is, our mind tries to hold on to what it likes and to keep away what it does not like. This notion of likes and dislikes may take various nuanced positions, such as good and bad, helpful and unhelpful, etc., depending upon the maturity of a person. If we ask a person what would make him or her happy, the invariable and immediate answer would be what I like or what I expect should happen, and what I don't like or what I don't expect should not happen. Needless to say that such an answer is nothing but the prompting of one's mind. The problem here is that even when people get what they want or what they expect, they don't seem to be happy. Quite often our mind prompts us that successful achievement of certain things, such as money, power, position, and wealth, would make our life more complete and fulfilled. However, when people achieve these things, they don't seem to enjoy the benefits the mind had earlier promised. Though the mind convinces us that fulfillment of our desires would make our lives better, in reality, what we find after fulfilling our desires is not happiness, but more craving, more desires, and more egoism. The mind simply deceives us. That is what we see in our first parents. They thought that eating the forbidden fruit would make their life more fulfilling and they will have a life without death. However, after eating the forbidden fruit, what they saw was only their own nakedness. They did not enjoy a life without death. Rather, they saw themselves facing death squarely. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asks Krishna the reason for the suffering of people. Krishna answers that people suffer because of their desires. If a desire is not fulfilled, it leads to disappointment. Instead, if a desire is fulfilled, it leads to further cravings and more desires. Dear friends, the grace that we receive through baptism helps us not to yield to such delusive tactics of our mind and to march in the right path of happiness. The words of St. Paul in the second reading that the grace of God trains us to renounce impiety and worldly passions, and in the present age to live lives that are self-controlled, upright and godly, precisely point to this fact. It is this grace that is bestowed upon us in the sacrament of baptism, the grace which helps us to move away from the tree of knowledge of good and evil to the tree of life.